Apple this morning made a couple new product updates to their product line via press release. None of them are groundbreaking, but some of them are kind of interesting, and I want to walk you through them right now. So to first begin, one of the most eye-popping updates that they made was actually an update to the iPhone 7. No product improvements were made, but there was a finish added, a red finish for a product red finish. So that has a red aluminum back, a white front, and a shiny silver Apple logo when you look at the images. It'll only be available in 128 and 256 gigabyte capacities with the same price points that you'd have on the iPhone 7 or iPhone 7 Plus, so starting at $749. That will be available March 24th, and you can order it, and I presume at that time as well, see them in Apple stores if you just want to take a look. They also announced an iPhone SE storage bump. It's actually doubling of the storage capacity, so no longer do you have an SE that starts at 16 gigabytes. It's now 32 gigabytes for $399 and 128 gigabytes for $499. So they've gone ahead and doubled the storage on the iPhone SE. So first product red, iPhone 7, iPhone SE bump, that's the iPhone updates. They also updated the iPad line as well. So they now have a new iPad. It's just called iPad. No longer is there an iPad Air 2 in the lineup, although the new iPad is very, very similar to the iPad Air 2. So it has the same silver, gold, and space gray options, but it's cheaper than the iPad Air 2. The iPad Air 2 yesterday was $399 and $499 for the Wi-Fi options. Now the new iPad is $329 for a 32 gigabyte, or $429 for an 128 gigabyte, and of course $459 or $559 for the same capacities with LTE capacity. In terms of specs, so the other big thing, slightly lower price than the iPad Air 2, A9 chip. If you compare that to the iPad Pro has an A9X. If you compare it to the Air 2 had an A8X. So the A9 chip is a little bit faster than the Air 2, but is not as powerful as what we have in the iPad Pro. To deviate from the new iPad Pros as well, there's no smart connector, nor is there Apple Pencil support. So it really is an iPad Air 2 with a slight spec bump with the A9 processor and price drop. The cameras are the same as the Air 2 and as the 12.9-inch original iPad Pro, so 8 megapixel rear-facing camera and a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. 2 speakers, not 4 like the iPad Pro 9.7, which is really appealing. It's also very slightly heavier and bigger than the iPad Air 2. It still weighs about a pound, so it's nothing unruly, but it is slightly bigger and slightly heavier than the Air 2. 10 hours of battery life, and just like the product red iPhone, both those products will be available on March 24th. Apple also made a quiet update to the iPad Mini 4. Basically, it's just a storage bump, so it's the same silver, gold, and space gray options. But now for $399, you can get an 128 gigabyte iPad Mini 4, or $529 for the LTE variant of that. And it actually looks like, from looking on their website, that now the only capacity that they will sell the iPad Mini 4 in is 128 gigabytes. So the new iPad, which is essentially a slightly refreshed and slightly bigger iPad Air 2 and a little bit of a storage improvement on the iPad Mini 4, those are the iPhone and iPad improvements. The last thing that Apple announced is just an app. It's called Clips. It's an app for stitching videos and pictures together. What they talk about is that there's no timelines, so it's easy to use. It's not something that you're going to be using the iMovie app for, but it's just something to quickly put things together. It makes a lot of sense that would be an app that is included on iPhone. It'll be a free download in April. It'll support the iPhone 5S and up, the new iPad, all iPad Air, all iPad Pros, and the iPad Mini 2 and up. So that's a quick look at Apple's product updates. Again, a product red iPhone, a spec bump or storage bump on the iPhone SE, an iPad Mini 4 storage bump, a new iPad, which is the replacement to the iPad Air 2, and the Clips app. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button so all of my latest videos come right to your YouTube homepage. Thanks for watching.